welcome to episode 1 of Exit Music for a Film, a podcast focusing on first impressions of some of Hollywood's most anticipated theatrical releases. I'm your host, Ken Perry. This first episode has been a long time coming, but we're finally here. I anticipate this being a beginning of a long-running show that will exist for years to come. 2019 looks like it's going to be an awesome year in film, so I'm excited to get to work. I made my first trip to the movies of 2019 today, so without further delay, let's officially launch this show into existence. I'm not going to fight your war, I'm going to end it. Today's episode, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is the story of Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, becoming one of the universe's most powerful heroes, when Earth is caught in the middle of a war between the Kree and Skrull alien races. At the same time, Danvers searches for her true identity on Earth and beyond. Captain Marvel is the 21st movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. My overall thoughts, I thought the movie was entertaining, and I enjoyed the movie theater experience due to the solid action sequences that Marvel's obviously known for throughout the movies in their cinematic universe. And, the film included multiple awesome fighting scenes as well as flying and air combat scenes as Carol Danvers discovers her identity as a former U.S. fighter pilot. I thought the fact that Danvers served as a pilot made the character pretty cool, and even without the powers of Captain Marvel being yet realized. I thought the overall story of the movie served as an interesting and refreshing take on the superhero origin story, as the character kind of in a way works backwards, to discover her life as a civilian on Earth. In the beginning of the movie, she starts off as this Star Force super spy, referred to as Veers, which, the origin of that later becomes explained. She's working with the Kree alien race fighting, intergalactic wars, and after crashing down to Earth through, of course, what other than a blockbuster movie store, she continues on a journey she doesn't really yet realize that she's on to uncover her true past on Earth. Now, coming into the movie, I wasn't very familiar with the character Captain Marvel, but I thought Brie Larson did a strong job portraying Marvel's first female protagonist, which is a super big deal. I had worries and doubts from seeing the trailers. I kind of thought she was phoning in her performance just from seeing multiple trailers, but she really proved me wrong. I also really liked that the movie served as a look into the early days of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how that organization kind of, got started protecting Earth with the help of these heroes, who would later become the Avengers. In the film, we also discover the origin of the name The Avengers, which was another one of my favorite parts of the movie, and a scene that I honestly think is truly important and will be encapsulated in the history of the Marvel franchise. I have to mention again the reverse aging technology that was once again used by Marvel. This technology is absolutely amazing. It made S.H.I.E.L.D. agents Nick Fury as Samuel L. Jackson, of course, as well as Clark Gregg, who plays Agent Coulson. They just looked awesome. Me and my friends were talking about that how we believe Sam Jackson looked so amazing and awesome because there's such a wide variety of film on him in his younger years due to his extensive filmography and back catalog of movies to choose from. That way they were really able to make him look really great, particularly. I remember seeing this technology used for the first time. I don't know if it was the first time it was ever used, but in Captain America Civil War. And I was just blown away. And I was so confused how the hell they pulled that off. And I immediately start doing research on it. This technology and seeing Samuel Jackson in the movie today really made me excited for The Irishman, which is Martin Scorsese's latest movie, set to be released later this year. This movie is set to feature Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci, all playing themselves in younger years. This movie's been realized in full credit to this age reversal technology. I'm really surprised. Maybe I'm just not really looking in the right places, but I don't think people in the business are talking enough about how much of a game changer this age reversing technology is for the film industry. I mean, anything's possible at this point. I mean, any movie that can now really fully be realized I mean, give these people who developed this technology a Nobel Prize already. I'm truly excited about what the future of film in Hollywood holds for this with this technological advancement, and at the hands of Hollywood's most creative minds, seeing what they can do with this technology of age reversal. Anyway, as most of you are probably aware at this point, this movie is a period piece set in the mid 90s, 1995 to be exact. I thought the writers and directors did a good job of finding the right amount of 90s nostalgia to include in this movie. I definitely thought there was going to be 90s songs and 90s paraphernalia and trends and whatnot in almost every scene. So I was pleasantly surprised and thought they found a good balance, thankfully. And I love the 90s for the record. I thought the music in the movie was used well between, Nirvana and REM songs being included. And of course, No Doubt's Just a Girl being used in the major fight scenes at the climax of the movie added an element of fun. The technology, or should I say lack thereof, was funny to see from Nick Fury's two-way beeper that he gives to Carol Danvers to the inclusion of like internet cafes and slow dial-up internet connection. Uh, these were elements I half expected, but still, I found myself laughing at them. I also loved the scene of Brie Larson blasting the head off an Arnold Schwarzenegger True Lies movie poster after crashing down to Earth and landing in the Blockbuster store. I love the message of move over guys because women heroes are here to stay. Again, I thought the fight and action scenes were pretty much up to par with the typical Marvel movie. Maybe not necessarily Infinity War, but nonetheless, the movie had solid fight scenes. But even more, I enjoyed the scenes of Carol Danvers flying the plane, whether it was the flashback scenes of her or her realizing she impulsively knew how to fly the large fighter jets seen in the movie. The visuals in this movie, of course, were great. I mean, what can you expect from a Marvel movie? But I just have to say that I thought the Skrulls were pretty poorly realized characters, and they look like something that came like straight out of a mid '90s Power Ranger movie. Yeah, I was not a fan. The movie had a solid plot twist towards the end that gave some depth to the story that I really enjoyed. The inclusion of additional Marvel characters, and may I even say items, yeah, you'll know what I mean once you see the movie. This did a lot for the plot, I thought. This movie made me super excited all over again to see Endgame next month. So, yeah, bring on April 26th. It's a release date. I'm ready to see Danvers versus Thanos. I have to mention that I thought the Stan Lee tribute within the opening Marvel title shot that we always get in every MCU movie that usually features the characters. This time features stills and footage of Stan and his various cameos throughout these movies was an awesome and appropriate tribute. I also have to say that I love Stan Lee's cameo in this movie. They're always good for a laugh, but this one really made me smile seeing him sitting on the bus reading the script for Mallrats, which Stan was in 1995, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I loved it. It was easily one of my favorite moments in the movie. Yeah, the word is that the next one for Endgame is going to be Stan Lee's final Marvel cameo. It was the last one he shot before he passed away last year, so I'm just really hoping that he brings the heat and he leaves us with a really special, really awesome, kick-ass cameo. I know I'll be looking for it next month when I go see Endgame. I also just have to mention that we finally get to see the cause of Nick Fury's scar across his eye, and the reason he has the eye patch in all the movies afterwards. That was amazing. It really was. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that, for seeing that in the movie. Now that was the true origin story, if you ask me. I think the best scene in the film was when Carol Danvers removes the chip that was inserted in the back of her neck by the Kree when she landed on their planet, I guess, and in doing so, she unleashes her full powers and truly becomes Captain Marvel in that moment. We get to see what the hero is truly capable of in her fully realized form and optimized form. Uh, this moment was awesome to see, and served as a really great climax for the film. Overall, I did enjoy seeing this movie in the theaters. My biggest takeaway while walking out of the theater and just up until now is just how seriously pumped I am for Endgame. I really want these next 5 or 6 weeks to go fast. With the help of Carol Danvers, though, I think these heroes are ready for Thanos. Okay, in wrapping up the review of Captain Marvel, it's now time to get into our categories. Okay, who won the movie? Alright, since picking Goose the Cat seems like a bad foot to get off on for our first episode, I have to go with our title character, Carol Danvers, Veers, Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, whatever you want to refer to her as. She was just too badass to deny it, and I'm excited to see her kick some more ass in just over a month in Avengers Endgame. By the way, Brie Larson is an Academy Award winner and not even 30 years old. It's pretty awesome. Well, Brie, you'd add this one to the list. You won the movie. You beat Goose the Cat. Alright, now it's time for our film fact. Throughout the history of Marvel Comics, 8 different characters have taken the name Captain Marvel. This movie features 3 of those 8. Carol Danvers, superhero previously known as Mrs. Marvel, Marvel, a Kree alien and superhero, and Ka-Nar, a Skrull alien and superhero. Those are the 3 that are featured in this movie of the 8 characters throughout Marvel history that have been named Captain Marvel or have taken up the name. Now it's time for see, stream, or skip, which is pretty self-explanatory. Now, if this was a standalone movie, I think I would have to go with stream. I'd wait for this to come on, Netflix or Hulu or whatever streaming service you have. But again, with Endgame coming right around the corner next month, go see this movie in theaters. Honestly, get yourself ready for the showdown next month on April 22nd. All right, it's now time for my official rating. After thinking about it since getting out of the theater, if I'm being honest with myself, I think I gotta land Captain Marvel right in the middle there at a solid 5. Again, I enjoyed Brie Larson's performance as well as the action sequences and the story. It just wasn't one of the better Marvel movies. By far, it wasn't one of the best. And I don't know if I gave it a 6 or anything higher, I feel like I'd be reaching. Okay, so now it's time for a very important segment in regards to this show. And that's the existence of the exit music for a film heavyweight championship. A better and more catchy name to be determined in the near future, and suggestions are certainly welcome. This honor will be decided on and rewarded to what I, as well as my future guests, vote to be the running best movie of the year. So, by default, it is my honor to crown Captain Marvel as the first ever, undisputed, exit music for a film podcast heavyweight champion. Congrats, guys. You did it. Brie Larson, I know that this award rivals your Oscar win, but it's okay. You don't have to admit it. Well, that pretty much wraps up this first episode, but before signing off, I just wanted to highlight our coming attractions. It's like the opposite of going to the movies when coming attractions are featured before the program. What we're going to do here is just look ahead to the next episode and see what we anticipate may be the next movie highlighted on our podcast. Looking ahead, I could only anticipate that the next movie that we're going to focus on and do is Us. Jordan Peele's highly anticipated follow-up to Get Out. This movie looks creepy as fuck, and I I honestly am really excited to go see it. There's nothing like going to see a really good looking horror movie in theaters. I listed this as number 5 on my top 5 most anticipated movies of 2019. So I'm very excited to see this film, and I expect more good things from Jordan Peele. And I'm excited to come back and talk it out afterwards. So stay tuned for us coming in the next couple of weeks. I believe the movie's release date is March 22nd. Alright, guys. So this has been the first official episode of Exit Music for a Film. I can't thank you guys enough for those of you who made it through to the end. I really, really, really appreciate the support. And don't worry, I'll be getting better as this goes on and into the future, I promise. Episode 2 will be coming soon, and remember, keep going to the movies.